It's evening, and Lot is hanging out near Sodom's city gate when the two men arrive. No, wait, they're not men, they're angels! Turns out they were angels the whole time. The author pulled a sneaky on us. Lot bows down before them, immediately notices that their feet need to be washed again, and invites them to stay the night at his place. The angels actually say no to this. They want to stay in the city square. But Lot doesn't take no for an answer. And he's apparently very convincing because the angels ultimately agree to spend the night at his place after all. Lot prepares a big meal with yeast-free bread. The angels eat to their heart's content and then everyone gets ready for bed. But as these angels are preparing for a good night's rest, all the men of Sodom show up at Lot's house. Like, literally all of them. Old and young from every neighborhood. They're all there, surrounding the house, and they start shouting at Lot. And what are they shouting? Well, let me tell you. They're shouting, "Where are the men who are staying with you tonight? Bring them out here to us. We want to have sex with them." Yeah, turns out they all got raping an angel on their bucket lists. Or actually they said men, so maybe they don't even know they're angels. Either way, these guys got a thing or two to learn about consent. It just so happens to be though that Lot is willing to teach them. He's eager to explain what's wrong with their way of thinking. He goes outside and says, "My friends, please don't do anything evil like that. These are guests in my home and I must protect them. Tell you what, I have 2 daughters. They have never had sex with anyone. How about I bring them to you and instead of raping my guests, you can rape them?" Okay, maybe Lot is not an expert on consent either. The crowd says no, by the way. They want the angels. And they say that if Lot doesn't move aside, they're gonna do even worse things to him. However, before they can do so, the angels pull Lot back inside and close the door. The crowd tries to break in, but the angels have a solution for this as well. They strike everyone with blindness, so they can't find the door anymore. The threat has been neutralized, but the angels have absolutely had it with this fucking city. So without even waiting for God, they decide to destroy it. But they do want to save one man. The man who just offered both of his daughters to a crowd of rapists. They tell Lot to get out of the city with his wife and daughters. And at this point we find out that both of his daughters are actually engaged. Apparently to the only 2 guys who didn't show up at their house. They were just relaxing at home while their fiancés almost got gang raped by literally every other man in the city. Anyway, Lot pays them a visit to tell them that God is about to destroy the city and they should leave ASAP. But these absolute clowns don't believe him. Seeing 2 angels blind the entire male population did not raise any alarm bells for them. So they're staying. At dawn, the angels tell Lot and his family that it's time to go. Chop chop. But Lot and his family are actually kinda attached to the place, so they linger. The angels got no time for that though, so they just grab their hands and run away with them. Lot, his wife, and their 2 daughters make it out of the city. Everyone else gets left behind. The women and children of Sodom aren't even considered, so I guess it's technically true that God didn't find 10 good people, but only because he didn't fucking look. Lot and his family still aren't safe though. One of the angels urges them to run. He says, "Don't look behind you, don't stop anywhere in this valley. Run up into the mountains or you will die." But the mountains are far away, so Lot says, "Can we run to that town over there instead?" And the angel is like, "Okay, fine, but hurry up. We can't launch our airstrike before you're there." The town is called Zoar, by the way. It's a small town. The king of Zoar was one of the 5 kings who fought Kedar in chapter 14. And I'm pretty sure this is the same Zoar. So they run over there and God bombards Sodom and Gomorrah with burning sulfur. Everybody dies. Lot's wife looks back at Sodom. Understandable, it's not every day that you see God burn your city to the ground. But the angel had said not to look back, so she's gotta die. She gets turned into a pillar of salt. Why the hell not, right? While all of this is going on, Abraham can actually see the thick, dark smoke all the way from where he lives. But it's kind of implied that he knows that God spared Lot, so it's fine. It looks like the whole ordeal really does a number on Lot, though. Because once the dust settles, he's actually afraid to live in Zoar. And instead of going to live with Abraham or moving to another town, he takes his daughters to live in a cave in the mountains. Just the three of them. Now, a lot has happened in this chapter, but despite a city full of aspiring rapists, there has been no sexual intercourse. Until now. Just like everyone else in this damn book, Lot's daughters seem to be obsessed with descendants. And their fiancés are dead, and there are no guys in the mountains. Except for their dad. So what they do is they give him wine, and more wine, and even more, until he's completely plastered. And then, without him even realizing what's happening, his elder daughter has sex with him, you know, for the cause. And the next day she says to her sister, hey, let's do it again, so you can have sex with dad too. And they repeat the formula. 9 months later, the elder gives birth to a son named Moab, and the younger gives birth to a son named Ben-Ami. These babies will eventually become the ancestors of the Moabites and the Ammonites. And the chapter ends here. I need a bucket now.